Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the crazier ones was I got to play with Duff and Slash from Guns N' Roses, and I didn't know it was going to happen. And
Is that on YouTube right now?
It's somewhere out there, yeah.
So let's look at it.
Don't play that, Jesus Christ.
Why?
Because I don't want to watch myself drumming. Because I just look like a dad at a Make-A-Wish camp. Duff and Slash and Dave Kushner and Frankie Perez.
How did that come to be?
Dave Kushner, who's in Velvet Revolver and is now an incredible composer for film and television. He composed everything for F is for Family.
Your Netflix show.
Yes, the cartoon that I did. So he is a really big-hearted guy, a big family guy. Like, I'm really good friends with him, and like he's one of those people I became friends with. I became a better person because I like how he lives his life, you know? So he goes, hey, you know, he goes, my kids' school they go to, we're doing like a fundraiser, so I'm going to put together a band. And it was like, there was the rehearsal band. He didn't let me know Duff and Slash were coming. That was the joke. So I was going to play Highway to Hell, right? AC/DC song. So he went up, rehearsed during the day, and everything went great. And he goes, all right, cool. All right, we'll play the song tonight. I go, okay, fantastic. So I come back at night. So it's my turn to go up on drums. And I'm thinking, like, I was watching, like, I remember I was late in the show, and it made no sense to me. I was like, why wouldn't you get the stupid comic out of the way early? Why would you put him way late? And, like, I remember the drummer was played with Blue Man Group. He was a fucking beast. He was playing The Who, all this Keith Moon shit. I'm like, I can't, why the fuck are they waiting? So it was like towards the end of the night. So they bring me up on stage, and I was so, like, I made sure I got on stage before he even introduced me because I was so, like just outside my element. And as I sit down, I see the bass player and the guitar player leaving. And then Duff and Slash come up on stage. And I'm telling you, like, how big these guys were to me as a kid. Them standing there, they look like two redwoods. I just remember how big they were. And Duff I had met one other time, I forget. I think that was the second time I met him. And he's totally cool. He just sort of, he's tall anyway. He's kind of leaned over. So, hey, man, shook my hand. Slash was there. And I was like, and Dave just turned around, laughed at me because I had that look on my face of like, what the fuck? And before I could even think anything, like Slash starts, because it starts with the guitar. Ba-na-na, da-na-na. And like for the whole first verse, I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't believe it. And it ended up going great. I don't think I fucked up. And it ended. I got off and I got to meet the guys. It was fantastic. And I remember it was the most rock and roll thing I ever did. And then I immediately did the least rock and roll thing, was I got in my Prius and I drove down the hill as I was screaming. So I go to the store to go smoke a cigar with some buddies of mine. I remember I got out of the car and I'm literally flying. I couldn't believe it happened. And I get out of the car and the guy was, he goes, hey, Bill, you want to do a spot? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not fucking that up. I'm not going to go up here and then have a mediocre. I'm going to ride this as long as I can. And I stayed back there. And like during the time I was telling the comics that it happened, he sent me the video and they watched it. They were like, what the fuck? It was the greatest night of my life. And I stayed up till like 3 a.m. So at 3 a.m, I get back in my Prius. And as I'm driving out, I'm stopping looking for traffic. And this gorgeous woman comes up to my passenger window and knocks on the window. I'm like, oh, could my night get any better? She's a big fan, right?
You think you're amusing, don't you?
No, I put the window down and she stuck her head in. She was hammered. She goes, are you Enrique, my Uber driver? And I fucking like paused and she took in my Irish features. I'm not an Enrique. And I just go, no, I'm not. And she laughed and I laughed and it was just like, boom. I turned back into a pumpkin and I was a dad in a fucking, I guess I wasn't a dad before then, but whatever. I was just some guy in his 40s in a Prius and I fucking laughed the whole way home. And I really took that as like something from the universe. Like, all right, come back down. You know,
That's an amazing story.
Don't be walking around like.
We'll have in post. We'll have showed the audience this tape. We won't do it in front of you, but what a great story! What a great moment! And
yeah, so I've had I've done that a couple of times where I've gotten to play, you know, with some just insane people, and it doesn't make any sense, but it's happened.
Do you fly yourself to gigs in a helicopter?
No, there's just too many like I mean, I've done it a couple of times, but it's just like going all the way up there, pre-flighting it, you know, doing all of that shit. By the time you land it, you know.
I would have thought you would have done that at Fenway. You would land. What an entrance, like the Beatles.
Oh, I mean, also like what an asshole. I mean, it's like, aren't you doing like enough?